Hey guys, it's J19 brought to you another podcast. We are back for more gaming news, gaming discussions, whatever you guys want to call it. Get everything off our chest. We do have a few things we're talking about today. It's the third year anniversary of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Believe it or not, it's been 3 years since that game's launch. We're going to talk a little bit about 16, a little bit about other games we're excited for, talk about the PlayStation Showcase that's been rumored, but I think otherwise. I do have some people I've been talking to that are kind of inside. We'll talk more about that. We also got some things that Jim Ryan has been saying. So buckle up, folks. It's gonna be a good one. So speaking of, let's talk about the Jim Ryan thing because that was
Mm.
interesting. As always, I'm
Yeah,
here with Over,
let
my
me
friend.
pull up what he said because I don't remember exactly. So let me pull up what he said, exact his words.
Yeah,
One second.
we'll get the exact fact. All I know is, folks, is that he is like spreading. He's putting more fuel to the fire, and yeah, this is like type of thing that we don't need. Um,
No.
because I thought the console wars are
Okay.
over, but here we go. You got it?
All right. Yeah. Yeah. This is what he said. He said, our business. And keep in mind, I laughed when he said this. Like I was laughing.
Yeah.
Our business would never recover if Microsoft degraded Call of Duty on PlayStation. So what he's saying is that if if Microsoft, if this deal goes through, then Jim Ryan thinks that Call of Duty would be getting a degraded version than Xbox, which makes no sense to me. Like what? It,
Yeah.
does that
I heard about
happen?
that. That was a few days ago.
That's just, oh god.
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm like, I don't think Microsoft would do that. Even though, yeah, Microsoft could. They could just give Sony like a little downgraded version of it, which it'll still run fine on PS5. But it's like, hey, you want solid frames? You want the solid visualization? Play Xbox. Go to PC Game Pass. Um,
Yeah.
I see why Jim Ryan's saying that, but just spitballing and saying, yeah, it's absolutely what's going to happen. Because Microsoft's been up front since the beginning. They haven't changed their tone. That like they said, we want to. Reason why we bought them is because we want to put it on more platforms. Like Switch is involved, like Nintendo, like that, like even like Nvidia it wants like have like Call of Duty and some Activision Blizzard games supported on their products as well. You name it. Like that's why it's like Microsoft's making deals with these other companies and like Sony. It's like if you just signed this 10-year contract like we do with everybody else, it's like you have the same support. But Jim Ryan's like, yeah, just downgrade it, and then you find the other quote they mentioned, like just like
Yeah.
earlier today or yesterday.
Yeah. And when he first first said it, I thought it was an April Fool's joke. I'm like, oh god. So he's basically saying that, because I did read something that says actually the Call of Duty money actually helps Sony fund their first party games. I was like, oh wow, I didn't really think about that. So maybe there is some truth to what he's saying because like like I get it. Call of Duty makes billions of dollars for PlayStation, and they use some of that money to invest in their first party games, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he is being correct, or he's overly exaggerating to make it sound like no, don't let this deal go through. This is what's gonna happen. So I think those are the two options for what he's trying to get across,
Yeah.
right?
I get
So
that. They're still worried because it's like, yeah, like Microsoft could say all this and sign the deal, and all of a sudden it's like, sorry, suckers, like this is not exactly what you thought. Like we got control of like the gaming industry now. We got the one of the best. But the problem is like I talked to a few people on Discord, and they've been following like like sales and stuff for games. It's like, yeah, Call of Duty still makes a lot of money, but like it's been struggling. Like Cold War didn't sell very well. Vanguard didn't sell very well. Like
Warfare Two
sold
sold really
extremely
well.
well. That
Yeah.
because of Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare sells well because everybody loves Modern Warfare. It's like they said it's totally different from Black Ops. When Black Ops games come out, they don't
Now,
sell as well.
now, my question is: Modern Warfare. I can't remember. Is Modern Warfare a live service game or is it like like a full price game? Or do they just make it off
It's full
microtransactions?
price game. It just what it
Okay.
is like it's like a regular Call of Duty game.
Mm-hmm.
You buy it and you buy like I don't know if the maps are included or not, but you can buy like cosmetics. But the problem with that, you can buy these bundles, and you can get like these most out you know OP weapons from the start, like a little bit more OP weapons than what you start out
Yeah.
with. And on top of that, what people don't like is somebody can have like the diamond, like a diamond, skin for the weapon.
Mhm.
It's like, dude, you actually you earned that? You grind for that? No, I just bought money for it. And it's like that's why a lot of people like that's why
That's why.
Call of Duty sells because the microtransactions they make a lot of money, but like people's like that's not fun. Like and people's
That's
like
why
there's no and then people that play it before launch or play the beta or whatever and they did all this, it's like yeah, it's like there's no content. It's like, well, you done everything like before like within the
see
first week, you know?
that's why I'm not really a huge fan of live service games because of the I don't spend money on microtransactions at all.
Now,
Like the only time like I'll spend money on a game is like when a new game comes out. I'm like, oh, I'm really excited, or like
yeah, the only way
I don't spend money on
microtransactions
single player games.
the
Is what
only
I'm
way
trying to say.
microtransactions work for me if it's just cosmetics. If you want to buy something to make your skin look better, make your character's
Mhm.
skin look better, like a skin.
I'm not into that, to be
Not
honest with you.
not not oh I can spend $20 and have the most OP weapon in the game. Like that's not
For
fair.
me, I'd be willing. The only time I'd be willing to spend extra money on live service game is not buy OP weapons or cosmetics. If it is, hey, I'm really enjoying the game, and say they add, oh, hey, here's like a map, like an
Yeah,
extra map,
like map
an extra
packs.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
maybe,
DLC
but
stories. Yeah,
I'm really not
yeah, and I
interested
do
in
that
spending
too.
money
Like
on live service
if
games.
like for Dying Light 2, like I bought the first story DLC, but I think it was like bugged out or something. So I couldn't complete the entry quest for that. So I was like, whatever. It's like only
Mhm.
$10.
Yeah.
They probably patched it by now, but it's like that's fine. That's 10 bucks. But I'm not spending, you know, hundreds, 20s and 20s and 50s and 60s or $100 on
That's just
cosmetics and stuff.
ridiculous.
It's like not for me.
Just ridiculous.
But yeah, I can see why like Sony's worried about that. But like you look at the recent sales, other than like Modern Warfare 2, like Call of Duty sales wasn't very good the last like couple of years. It's been stinkers. Like man, they sold all right, but nothing to their goals. It's
Mhm.
people's like, hey, Vanguard's not what we wanted, and Cold War, like it's interesting what they brought back a couple of characters from the older Black Ops games was like, but still, it wasn't like people's favorite, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, like for me, like I'm really hoping that Naughty Dog hits the park with The Last of Us multiplayer because I don't want The Last of Us multiplayer to just be, oh, it's just monetized as hell. Let's put a bunch of skins. I don't want it to be like that. What I want, look, obviously they have to have like it needs microtransactions to survive,
Well,
but
yeah,
I'm saying that like they could handle it a different way. Say like maybe like every few months they have like a new map with a new story.
well, yeah.
I
They're
think
gonna
that's probably worth
if
it.
they want to make The Last of
I
Us
I just
last,
don't.
they got to make it
Mm,
almost like Destiny 2 or Final
mm,
Fantasy 14. They got to keep having updates for the game, content,
yeah, so I,
and
I'm hoping that the cosmetics are earned, not purchased.
I
Like
mean,
you gotta
yeah,
work for it. You gotta.
you gotta have it where you can earn. You need to earn a lot of stuff. But if
Mm,
somebody wants to spend money on the game, like for cosmetic, they can. But it's not like the most like this is the only way you get cosmetics. You can earn it in game as well if you don't want to spend the money. But it's just gonna take you a
yeah.
lot more longer to grind for, which is fine. But it's like don't make that a priority. Don't make it. Oh, we need you need to have a whole bunch of microtransactions to survive. Like have content for it. Have like DLCs. Like even if it's every few months, have a brand new season out.
Mhm.
But make it fun. Make it something that's fresh, and people go,
Yeah.
I really love it. Like Factions One. Like far as I know, like I think latest is like last year, year before that, Factions was still going strong.
It was. Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
people enjoyed factions.
And that's
A
why
lot of
everybody's
people.
excited about this one. It's like this is Factions 2 on this modern platform. It's like let's
Mhm.
freaking go. Like
Yeah.
I'm excited. I want to try it out, but
It is. Yeah.
I just hope they handle it well.
And like, I'm not saying that I want these live service games to fail, because that's what I thought. I'm like, I hope these live service games fail. So so I just focus on Super. But now I'm like, you know what? No. Maybe my mindset is in the wrong place. What if they equally create great live service games and great single player games at the same time, right?
They will. So why do you think
Yeah,
Naughty Dog came out? Let's not just Naughty Dog. Neil Druckmann. He's the president and CEO of Naughty Dog. He's like, listen, because of how much we've grown, we can take on multiple projects at once now. He goes, we couldn't do
yeah.
that in the past. Now we can. Like,
I'm just hoping that like single player is their priority,
oh,
and then
and
multiplayer is
like
like
Herman Hall said,
second.
Herman Hall even I don't know, not recently, but he said that yeah, our main focus is still story-driven games.
Yeah,
That's what makes PlayStation different from everybody else. It's not about live service games, not about having seasons for updating games or even stuff like that. Like we're story-driven.
live service games is just the icing on the cake,
Yeah, and to me, it's like
PlayStation.
it's getting to the point now. Like it seems like every few months we got a new fighting, a new brawler game. We got a new battle
Hmm.
royale game. We got a new live service game, and like it's active for like the first few months, and then something else comes along and it dies off. Like look at Multiverse.
Hmm.
They shut that down for a while and say, hey, we'll be back with new content, but we gotta shut this down because it's pretty dead.
Yeah,
It was active for months. Like it was like everybody was playing that game, but now it's like boop.
yeah,
And that's what sucks. That's
that,
what sucks about these games. Like they're
yeah.
cool. Like I want to go like play some of these games I got downloaded on my PlayStation, but people said don't. It's like they're dead now. It's like well I shouldn't get into it. Should have bought it. Should have downloaded it.
Right.
It's like I want to play multiplayer games, have fun with people, but it's like by the time you turn around and want to start, it's like don't worry about it. It's like it's dead. It's like well gee thanks.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's like, and now like Sony, Jim Ryan is just going around, and now he's like fueling the fire. Like he just put fuel to the fire. It's nice. Like he's like downgrading Nintendo and Xbox. It's like, dude, I know you're like people would look at you as number one in the world, but like, don't. I wouldn't cut down Nintendo, even though Nintendo's a lower billion-dollar company than you are. Look at their titles, like Mario, Pokemon, Zelda.
Yeah.
They
They
over,
sell.
they sell way more than God of War does. Like way more. Like God of War
You know
has
why?
20.
You know why?
Why?
Because do you know how many units Nintendo has right now?
Yeah, the Switch over.
120 million.
Yeah, it
Hold on.
outsold the
Hold
PS4.
on. No.
Yeah,
PlayStation
yeah, yeah,
5 30.
yeah. I mean,
That's why they sell
like
more.
PlayStation
That's
5,
why.
4, and 5. You have to combine those two consoles just to beat out the Switch.
Hold on a second. No.
That's the truth.
Because when it comes to the hold your
You're a
horses.
PlayStation fanboy. I'm calling you on that. You just said, whoa, 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 whoa. You're wrong.
No,
Combine
I'm
those two
explaining it.
consoles. They
I'm
beat out the Switch. The Switch beats out the
I'm
PlayStation
explaining
4.
myself. Can you let me explain myself?
Yeah, go ahead. Just don't get
Um
pissed off about the truth.
I'm just simply saying that the reason why these games aren't performing as well is because people on PS4 they don't want to play the game on PS4. Like I guarantee you, dude, 95% of players who are playing these games are on PlayStation 5. It's not on PlayStation 4.
Well, yeah,
It's
most of the sales
90%.
are on PS5. Yeah.
90%. Yeah. So people on those 120 million PS4 sold, they're not playing the new games. They're waiting. They're waiting until they can get their hands on PS5.
Oh yeah.
So those 5 million or like 5.5 million units that God of War sold in the first few days, dude, 95% of that was on PS5. And
Oh
it
yeah.
only sold 30 million so far. So don't give me that crap, okay? I hate it when people spread around misinformation, and it really bothers me. So
Well, I
yeah,
mean, Sony's even come out and said it was it Horizon. Was it Horizon Forbidden West that sold like majority of sold like 80% of their sales was on PlayStation 5?
yeah, it's
One of their
crazy.
games are, yeah. That's the
Yeah,
truth of it, folks. It's like
I mean,
Spider-Man
imagine
Miles
how much,
Morales sold majority on PS5.
imagine how many units God of War would have sold if it had the same amount. If PS5 sold 120, million, and God
Yeah.
of War just came out, dude, it would demolish Nintendo games. It would absolutely demolish them. It would. Let's be honest here, okay?
Well, it depends. I don't know. I don't know what Mario and them sell, or even we'll just have to see how much like Tears of the Kingdom sells. That's gonna be a telling point. I want to see Nintendo come out within the first
I
week
just
and
feel like
say,
you're comparing these games unfairly. That's what I'm saying.
well,
Like
I
you
mean,
said,
compare Tears of the Kingdom like the within the first week, and compare that to God of War Ragnarok in the first week. We'll see how it pans out. If Tears of the Kingdom doesn't sell
well,
5.5
that's
million
not
in
a
like
fair
3 days,
comparison. That's not. I'm sorry, dude. That's not a fair comparison
how is it
because you have to
not?
understand, because the PlayStation 5 has like 25%, sold 25% as much as the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch sold 120,
Yeah.
PS5 is 30. So that's really not a fair comparison, Giant Team.
I mean, however, how much Ragnarok sold is for all is total, not just PS5 sales. Total PS4 and PS5.
I know, but I'm telling you, 90% of players wait until they
Oh,
will
I
play
know.
games on They wait.
I know.
So
I
that's not a
talked to a
fair
lot of people. They
comparison.
said I'm waiting to
I
get money
guarantee
to
you,
get
if
PS5.
PS5 had sold 120 million units and God of War would have just came out, it would have sold 10 million in the first week easily, easily,
Probably would.
easily.
I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying we'll see how it goes. Like God of War
Yeah.
sold fine. That's why they think Santa Monica went nuts and said, "Hey, we sold over 5 million copies in like 3 days." It's like, yeah, they're proud
And
of it. They're
that's not even
pleased.
at the full potential. That's
It's
not
not.
like
It's selling right now. Every time it gets people talking about, I got a PS5. What came with it? God of War Ragnarok. They're still getting the bundles for it on the PlayStation Store, Direct or whatever.
yeah,
Um,
it's a fantastic game. It really is.
Even
It's
GameStop, I get advertising on my phone. GameStop is selling the PlayStation 5 $50 less now.
yeah.
So like, yeah, it's
And
starting.
I've been on social media, and Sony has been really marketing the PS5, and basically I can't remember which city it was, but they had a giant axe, and
Oh yeah,
they had like borders saying live from PS5, and they had a car like with a bunch of webs and advertised Spider-Man 2. So
oh yeah. It's
they're
all
getting
over the
ready to
world.
show
Yeah,
something.
it's all over the world. They're
Yeah.
advertising.
So
And speaking of
Sony's getting
PlayStation,
ready.
we got some updates too as well. Apparently this rumor that people are calling it, I don't think it is a rumor. You guys probably know. You guys already heard. We've talked about in the last couple of podcasts. The PlayStation Showcase. There is a logo symbol of the PlayStation, all the symbols, being sent out on Twitter and other social medias. And I don't think it's a rumor. I don't think it's somebody just designed it and it's like, here, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, eyeballs.
Mm.
I think it's happening. I talked to somebody that's kind of, he's like an insider for gaming news and stuff. He
Really, he
doesn't
is.
say much. He doesn't say much because he's not supposed to. But he said, "Yeah, this is happening. It's a PlayStation showcase, and you know what? I think everything's leading up to it's gonna be before the original E3. Whatever E3 is gonna take place, is gonna be before that. So it
It's
might
gonna
be.
be. I'm guessing it's gonna begin at the beginning of June, right? Right
You know,
before E3.
I think that probably fit better. Is Sony
Mhm.
likes to like kind of put their showcase like kind of next to like Jeff Keighley, even though people's like don't do that. You'd be like linking up to Summer Games Fest. They don't have to. They can do it
Yeah.
within the first week and like just drop it in a few days later at Summer Games Fest. They don't have to say, hey, this is linked to Summer Games. But what I'm
Right.
hearing from this, I don't know if you agree with me or not. But I'm hearing, I'm seeing, well, I should say see, you don't really hear anything. It's like my uncle's not saying, hey, there's a PlayStation Showcase happening,
Yeah.
or anybody in our neighborhood. What I'm seeing is this is going to be one of the biggest showcases we had in a while.
Wow. Yeah.
And
It's gonna be the biggest ones, the biggest one ever since the PlayStation 5 reveal back in 2020. You
yeah,
know.
that was massive. That was a massive showcase because like everybody's anticipating. It's like one of the
Mhm.
most viewed.
We got Horizon Forbidden West. We got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. We got Miles Morales. We got Jesus. What else? We got so many other games. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we got that God of War tease, that God of War Ragnarok tease.
Oh
It
yeah.
was just We got Demon Souls Oh my god, dude. Oh
It's
my
just like
god.
that was the one everybody goes, this is it. They're gonna show off what the PS5 looks like. And that's like the most
They're
viewed
gonna show off.
showcase.
They're gonna show off second phase of PS5.
Yeah, which
How many
includes,
phases does the PS4 have again?
huh? How many
How many
phases?
phases? Yeah.
Uh, they had a showcase in 2018. They skipped
Okay.
they skipped 2019.
Okay.
I remember that year because I didn't recognize any PlayStation showcase. I'm like, this is weird. Like I didn't really follow showcases. I would remember if they had one because Square wasn't involved in any PlayStation except for the State of Play in May because their
Mm-hmm.
biggest game they want to showcase again, which has been like 5 years since we've seen it, was Final Fantasy VII Remake. Then they
Yeah.
had a then they had a 20-minute showcase at the Square Enix part of E3. That's all I remember. I don't remember Sony being. I don't think. Yeah, Sony wasn't at E3. They pulled out, but they had like state of plays and stuff. They didn't have a
Right.
PlayStation showcase, so they had two in 2020. I remember
Mm-hmm.
that. So they had one during the like the early parts, the first half of the year, which is showcase the PS5 like reveal, like the hardware, and then September. I remember it as a key because the very first thing to show off is that emulating the power, like emulating like the PS5, like this is still a work in progress. It's like everybody's like, whoa, at least they're being honest about it. And you know what it was? It was Final Fantasy 16.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna allow you that. These are Final Fantasy 16 didn't look that good. Like I was like, you know,
I, I,
like when they first showed it off.
well, yeah, the 2020 trailer it looked good, but you can tell that it wasn't up to Yoshi P's standards because even he
Yeah.
was pissed off about it. He's like, hey, look, he goes, I'm not even happy by the way that trailer looks. He goes, if I had more time to polish that trailer up, I would, but they had to get something ready. The Sony's like, show off 16. This is gonna be the fire starter for our showcase. Get 16 ready. I don't care where it's at right now in polish state. Show it. How long you want it? Give it like 4 minutes. Show a little, like tiny bit of gameplay, some story elements, what's going on, and then split the logo and say on PS5. That's what Sony
Yeah.
wanted. So it's like, yeah, the you go back and watch all the trailers again. You say, yeah, every trailer they pull out is like looking better and better and better. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm so excited for it. It's like this is like a PS5 exclusive titles. There's no last gen. There's no cross gen involved. This is they worked on it from the
Truly next gen
PS5.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they optimized it for the PS5. They said we didn't even start on the PC version of it yet. We're gonna work on that later because right now we're focusing on making sure this thing is optimized and polished and ready to go. You know what their game plan is? The reason why they want gold early, they want to make sure that possibility, if they can, not have a day one patch.
Wow.
Yoshi P goes,
Good luck to
that's my
them.
goal.
Right. Yeah.
But who knows? Most games, 99% of the time, they got a day one patch. He can work his hardest, but if we have a day one patch, I'm not gonna be mad because they are working their asses off.
It's yeah, and it's gonna be a massive game. I mean, how many gigabytes is it gonna be? Do we know yet or no?
Well, I don't know per se, but
Okay.
Jedi Survivor is 155 gigabytes on PC.
What about on PS5?
We don't know yet, but as far as like me having PC and a PS5,
Mhm.
the way the PC compression works, like most of the time, all the games I downloaded are a lot smaller storage spaces than the PS5 version.
Oh, so
And
it's gonna
it's,
be even bigger on
yeah,
PS5.
it'd probably be like 160, 170 gigabyte.
Oh, jeez. Oh my
And I'm
God.
hearing about the PC requirements for that. Somebody's like, oh, geez. He goes, I have to get a 4090 to play this thing.
Jesus, really?
The requirements on it going to be like, it's going to be big. Like, you better have an expensive machine.
Mm-hmm.
EA's heard all the excuses like, oh, we can't make great games, our optimization sucks. It's like nobody likes our games, we're not making good games. Apparently,
I
they're
think
gonna try
EA,
to.
I think EA has been doing a really good job with their second part titles with Dead Space, and now
Yeah,
Jedi Survivor.
yeah. Dead
They've
Space
been doing
remake
good.
was like,
I haven't played it. I gotta get around to playing Dead Space,
It
but
should. People said that is
yeah.
like the most faithful recreation of the original.
So many games, dude. Oh my god. Like I
Yeah.
feel overwhelmed, J19. Like
I
there's so much coming out, you know.
and people's
I
like,
feel
dude,
so
it's like, have you
overwhelmed.
seen the gameplay of Jedi Survivor? I go, dude, I would love to
Oh,
watch it. I know it's just
okay.
gameplay, and they said it blows their mind like how good it looks. Like it's even better than Jedi Fallen Order, which Jedi Fallen Order is fun. I haven't beat
Yeah.
it yet. I still need to get through it when I get time. That's why I'm not ordering Survivor yet. 'Cause I don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah.
And people's like, dude, you got to finish it. Like the ending is like
Oh,
it's
it's
so
mind-boggling.
it's so like I said, it's bonkers how it ends. Like
It
it's
is.
getting you set up for Survivor. It goes, dude, you got to check out the gameplay at least. I still need to. I'm at first time I saw the trailer for that. I'm like, dude, this looks significantly better from Jedi Fallen Order.
The
Like,
graphics look amazing too.
yeah,
Oh
like
my.
holy crap! Like, no wonder why it's a graphical like powerhouse. It's like they're not playing around.
Yeah.
Like even Dead Space remake, like the lighting and stuff, so
Oh
good.
man. But dude, I think Callisto Protocol looks better than Dead Space remake. It does.
I played about 2 hours of Callisto Protocol,
Hmm.
and that game is phenomenal. No wonder why they had spent
Oh,
$160 million on it.
it's I yeah I it was so good, and uh I'm really excited for the story DLC that's gonna be, because they did confirm that there's gonna be a story, and I can't wait. So.
Yeah, the only reason why I was able to play it, my friend game share with me, but he
Hmm.
didn't do that anymore. He's like, dude, I can't do this anymore because it's like, if I'm logging into his profile on mine, even though mine is like primary, he likes to have primary on his. It's like,
Hmm.
at least you got to play some of my games. He goes, I want you to delete my account. That's fine. It's your account, not
Yeah, no
mine.
worries.
We're
Hmm.
still friends. It's just like, hey, it's your account. You don't have to
Yeah,
ask me for it. Just say, hey, dude, can you delete my account? Okay.
no worries. Yeah,
Yeah. So what I played of it is fun. Like, yes, the gameplay and the dodging mechanics is different. It's a different type of
it is.
game, but
Yeah,
it's like once you master it and you hit those sick combos, like man, this is so sick.
it is.
And the
And
enemies are so like disturbing looking in a good way.
it is. I I think that, when I was watching the gameplay between the two, I like more of the environments that Callisto Protocol gives off, because
Yeah.
in Dead Space remake you're only in one area. You're just in a ship and that's it. In Callisto Protocol you go to different areas. Like you're in the ship.
Yeah.
You do go outside to the snowy area. You're outside. You're trying to find these creatures, and you go to this underground tunnel looking thing, and you go to outer space and shit. And it's crazy.
Yeah, and that's fine. It's just each game's got their own like style. Like
Yeah.
even though Dead Space remake, yes, you're still stuck in a major like ship. The ship is massive, so like each section of the ship is different, so it gives you a little
Have you
different
played it
feel.
yet or no?
I seen 4 hours of this thing. I watched a
Wow.
friend played it for 4 hours. I even got to see the mini game they get to play, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's almost like playing basketball, kind of. But it's like I just like dude. It's like this is a game I want to get on sale, just not right now. I just gotta
Yeah.
wait. Maybe Black Friday. Um, but
Black
yeah, it's
Friday is
like
coming up,
those
for sure.
games are really super sick. Um,
Yeah. And like, dude, at the end of the day, I don't really know if you're missing out, because people always say, "Oh my God, I'm missing out." I don't know if you are, because guys, these games aren't going anywhere. Like, they're here to stay. It's just you're not gonna be able to play them the minute they come out.
oh yeah,
You know?
just like I haven't started my Resident Evil 4 run yet.
Yeah.
I want to play 2 before I play 4. I want to play
Yeah.
remake 2 remake first. And people say you got to play 2 remake before 4. I go, I know. I just gotta get through Mr. X. I know it's stressful, it's intense, it's anxiety inducing, but it's just I can get through that
Yeah.
part. Um,
Are you playing it on easy or hard?
Standard. Standard is
Okay.
normal. They said whatever you do, dude, don't go hardcore on Resident Evil 2 remake, especially for your first time put through. Um, it's a lot of management. It's just a lot of thinking. It's like you
Yeah.
gotta think like 2 steps ahead. Because the thing is, you're limited on how many times you can save throughout the game.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
there's these little ink ribbons you find. That's how you use that to like type on the typewriter to save your file. So if you only get like a handful through each section of the game, you got to pick. Somebody goes, I ran through this game so many times, I know when to save it, when not to save it. Like
Okay.
a lot of times you gotta like say, you know what, I'm tempted to save now for what's coming up, but I can't. I can't save it here. I want to keep my ink ribbons.
Um, I don't know if you knew this, J19, but if you don't close the app and you put your PS5 on rest mode, the game won't close. It'll
Yeah, you can do a
keep
quick
going,
resume.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
heard learn
that's what
about
I
that.
use. Like, when I was playing Returnal, I made sure don't close the fucking app. For God's sakes, please don't. Because if you did, you have to start all over. So I probably played that game like 10 hours in one day. And I was almost at the end. I'm like, okay, it's fine. And I played it with a friend and I finally beat it. So that was how I was. Honestly, if the rest mode feature wasn't available on PS5, I probably would have been screwed.
Yeah, and they also add a feature where yeah you can, I guess you can temporarily have a checkpoint. But yeah,
You can? Okay. Yeah.
but I haven't beat it yet. I got to the point it's like, you know what? It's like the game's fun. I played it. I love the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers.
It's great. It's great.
That's like the most mind blowing thing about it. Um, I understand about the story. I kind of understand what the story's about. There's like a couple of different
Mm.
endings. Which is kind of understanding. It's like a psychological horror game, to be honest. It's like wow, that's like a different take. But like, I might go back to it. It's just right now, it's I can't really get past the first boss. I tried a few times. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's not really my game. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad. It's got a great idea. Like the story's interesting. Like I was like, whoa,
Mhm.
it's like live die repeat type of thing. Like almost like the Tom Cruise movie. Live die
Yeah.
repeat. Like you die, you start over, and you just keep progressing, and you keep figuring. Everything changes, but then you progress further and further. It's like, oh man, you gotta start over again. It's like, yeah, I understand that one. So it's like that
Mhm.
was the one way that so well, and people's like, this is my game of the year, and like Sony's like, hey, if we buy Housemark, we're onto something. That's why they did that. Like they waited to see, okay, this is a PS5 only game. Say we'll see how well it sells because looks promising and it sold extremely
Yeah.
well. And Sony's like, I think we're onto something here. People love these type of games. Maybe we
Yeah.
make them. 'Cause that's what Housemarque's about. The roguelite games, the bullet
Mhm.
hells. That's what they're known for.
I'm not really. Yeah. I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, Returnal was my first roguelike game, and I was like, oh, you know what? For a first time guy, I didn't do so bad, when I was
Yeah,
playing that game. So,
yeah. I thought that was pretty neat.
and it's a great game to play with a friend too. Like, yeah, it
Yeah,
really is.
especially it's like everybody's making that funny. It's like, man, it's like Halo Infinite came out before Returnal. Returnal's got a co-op mode before they did.
Yeah.
Like yikes, like yikes. It's like that's why everybody's memeing about that. It's like really, it's like Returnal came out after you guys, and so it's like actually no, they came out same year. But yeah, Returnal came out
Yeah.
first. But it's like Halo Infinite is like you said he's gonna have co-op. You had to delay that.
Yeah.
And then Returnal's like, Housemarque's like, yeah, we see ya. Here's competition for you. We're gonna have our co-op first. So it's like, I mean, as friendly competition. It's not like Sony's like saying, hey, you're bad. Xbox, what better? It's just like, hey,
Mhm.
competition. It's like, we'll show you how it's done. Hopefully, you learn from your mistakes and grow better, become a better company. But
Right.
not what Jim Ryan's saying. He's acting like that Nintendo and Xbox inferior to them. It's like you guys are nothing. You guys are trash.
Yeah.
Like not really saying those type of words. He's like, it's like Sony, you're being prideful again.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how
Yeah.
you humble yourself a little bit after the PS3 debacle.
Look, I I understand. Um, a lot of people, including me, I think so too, and I'm sure a lot of other fans agree with me as well. Is that the reason Jermaine says this because he thinks that they have the best first party games on the market. And honestly, I'd probably have to agree with him. I played all three, and I don't know, like a PlayStation's quality of games always struck me. And like with Nintendo games, don't get me wrong, they're great, but they just feel low, like they have a lower budget, and they're more for like kids, right? They're geared toward the younger audience.
Well, I mean, they are for the
And
most part, and the reason why they're
yeah,
lower budget because first of all, it's the hardware they're on, and second of
mhm.
all, Nintendo's company as a whole is not like Sony.
No, they're not.
No, you're talking about a $60 billion company compared to a $200 billion company. Even
Right.
though Sony
Yeah,
does,
Microsoft
yeah,
is a
Microsoft
trillion
is
dollar
trillions of
company.
dollars,
Yeah.
yeah, multi-trillion there, whatever you
Yeah,
call it.
I can't believe it, dude. Like, S- Sony is out here working with way less money than Microsoft, and Microsoft is the worst company. They're the
Yeah,
bottom, and they're the richest, and they still create the worst
and
games.
I think that's why they doubled down on Game Pass. Like that's their main
Right.
goal, because they can care less if Xbox fails or not. Just like here's your
Yeah.
Xbox console if you want it,
It
but
just
here's Game Pass.
it just goes to show, J19, that if like a lot of people say, oh, the richest company makes the best games. I'm sorry, but that's just not true. That's not true at all.
No, it's not
You
true.
know?
I mean, they have a couple of bangers that come out like High Rush? Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is.
I don't
Yeah, you
know.
don't like it, but a lot of people did. A lot of people
I
said
don't know.
this.
I don't see anyone praising an Xbox game.
Okay, whatever you want to say. But I hear a lot of people like that. So,
Mm-mm.
but anyways, before we get into freaking argument about console wars and stuff, um, I'm not a big PlayStation guy. I do play PlayStation games. I ain't gonna
I
kiss their
know.
butts.
Mm.
I'm not kissing Nintendo's butt. I'm not kissing Xbox butt. I am enjoying whatever game suits me and interests me, and I could care
Mhm.
less.
Right.
Like, yes, if Starfield comes out and the game looks absolutely fantastic, I'll get Game Pass for a month. I'll play the game. I'll enjoy it. I'll unsub from Game Pass after I'm done. But when Sony comes out with Spider-Man 2, I'll play it because I played the first two. I enjoyed them. So I want to play this.
Right. Yeah. And
Nintendo,
I
I'm
played the.
interested in some Nintendo games that are coming out. Other than I don't like this new Zelda game though. Like I said in our podcast, like I see some interesting things they're going with, but it's just not for me. That's why Alpha, your friend, was like, "Yeah, that's understandable, dude. Like that's fine. That's definitely understandable." I told people, it's like I think the art direction is just it doesn't suit me, and just like the fact that you're playing with like the durability issue is like way worse than like Dying Light or Dead Island.
Right.
Like,
And uh, Zelda is an RPG, correct?
ah, it don't have where you level up and not like that. No,
Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
it's just like it's an action adventure. It's
Okay.
a adventure game. Um, with puzzles and stuff like that, with dungeons. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Um.
Mario's more a
But
platformer, but
yeah. So I've been hearing a lot of people complain about The Last of Us on PC port, and I'm like, oh man, like I think somebody did this on purpose. I really
yeah,
did, man. I think they said, hey guys, you know, you can play, a bad version of Last of Us. I mean, even if you have a fucking 4090 G19, it still runs like crap. Okay, I don't care if you have a
yeah.
4090, a fucking, you know, a whole gaming rig, and the fucking 4K 240 hertz monitor. It's still gonna run like crap.
Well,
Mhm.
I know that Naughty Dog did apologize, and they're working hard to fix it. And I think they've done a couple updates on it so far.
But let me emphasize this, for in case PC fanboys have swabs in their ears. Last of Us Part One runs best on PS5. Okay, as of right now. Now when
Yeah,
they patch it up, it
I
might run
agree.
better. But
I
as
agree
of
with
now,
you. It runs best on PS5. That's the best version. You know what? I'll
And
say
and you know
this
what?
about my game too. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. Listen up, folks. Yes, you got your mods on PC for that game, but guess what? I talked to some people and they said I'd rather play that game on PS5 because it runs the best.
It does.
It runs the best,
And
runs the smoothest.
we're
So
we're seeing, I've been noticing
yeah,
that a lot of games that have been releasing, like third party games, especially third party games, have been are like the best optimized on PS5. Like it's crazy, J19.
yeah.
I think the reason for this is the PS5. It's so easy to develop for because it has an integrated I/O. All the CPU, the GPU, the CPU, they're
Well,
all
yeah,
connected,
because
and it just makes it so that
because
developing a
one
game
thing
and taking
too, one
advantage of
thing
that
you gotta
hardware is
say
easier.
too, is because the PS5 doesn't have any variants to it, like variables, like PC does. PC you gotta develop for like different spectrums of PC. Like
Mhm.
some people don't have the highest end, some people do, some people are right in the middle. So you gotta optimize it for every single one of those. Make sure it works properly and just say here's your requirement, here's your recommended, and here's for ultra settings.
Mhm.
Well,
Right.
PS5 is even if you get digital or physical, it's both. Guys, listen, it's both the same power and storage. Like there's no difference between the two of them. Now for Xbox consoles, I'll say this as well. Yes, the Series S does run at 1440p, 120 frames, but it is not as powerful as the Xbox Series X. So when Xbox games are being developed for both, they got to take in mind and say, okay, the Series S is involved, so we got to make sure that we scale it for both. Make sure it runs
Yeah.
optimized for both. So that's two variables. PlayStation 5 doesn't have that issue. Just it's one.
That's why I'm really excited to see what games are gonna look like visually, like as we move on the generation
Yeah.
on PS. How they're gonna look on PS5.
Oh yeah.
I'm specific, dude. Spider-Man 2, I think is gonna blow us away visually. Like you thought the ray tracing Spider-Man Miles Morales looked good.
Yeah.
You thought that game. You just wait, J19. You
Oh,
just
my
wait.
my expectations for Spider-Man 2 is extremely high.
And look, I remember playing Miles Morales on PS5. I played it on the performance ray tracing. I'm like, how can it get better than this, man? How?
Right. The game looks
Insomniac is gonna
absolutely
do
crazy. But like they're like even the voice actors and even some people are hinting and nudging the last few months is like, yeah, they're not ready, are they? No, they're not ready for this game. It's like,
it.
yeah, I know Insomniac's working hard, but like you guys having all these teases about how this game looks like you're watching a Spider-Man movie. It's like,
Oh,
show
jeez.
us. I want you to show me why is it PS5 only? Why show me why this thing looks better than Spider-Man 2018 or the remaster and why does it
Mhm.
look better than Miles Morales? Show me. I want to see it. I want to be looking at this game go, whoa, like no wonder why it's on PS5. No wonder why they've been quiet. Like they've been working their butts off for this thing. Like
I can't wait. Oh my
yeah, like
god.
just seeing like Venom like pop out and it's like, is this a movie or what? Like holy crap! Like
Dude, like I feel like Spider-Man 2 is gonna be the fastest selling first part. I think it's gonna top God of War Ragnarok.
it
It
has
will.
it has a chance because you know what? A lot of these PS5 owners are like saying my PS5 is sitting on the shelf collecting dust because there's no games for it, like exclusive PS5 games right now. They play
Mhm.
Ratchet and Clank, they play Returnal, play Dead, Demon's Soul, but like where's the PS5 exclusive title that makes you want to bust out the PS5? Because let's face it, God of War Ragnarok, yeah, you can play on the PS5, it's also on PS4, and people's like, yeah, I can play it on PS5, but like, where's your exclusive titles that made me bought this machine?
Mhm.
Where is those games at? Where are they?
I
Like,
think
we
yeah.
had just a
I
handful,
mean
you know?
yeah, and I feel like over the last couple of years we've seen what the PS5 can do for last gen games. Like I feel like the comparison is like playing PS4 games on PS5 is like playing like a maxed out PC port version. Because like when I was playing God of War Ragnarok on PS5 and I was playing it on the 120 FPS,
Yeah.
mode. Like it was like at a 1440p resolution, and it wasn't at like 120 FPS, but it was anywhere from like 90 to 100.
Yeah.
And if your display supports VRR, it'll make it run buttery smooth, and
Oh
it did,
yeah.
and it runs amazing. You know.
And like yeah, Ragnarok like to me like it looked the shadows, the lighting, even like the fast power SSD and like all that, like that game looked fan freaking tastic.
It did.
Like
It
it
looked
just
great.
it blew my mind. Like yeah, this no wonder why they took the extra time, took the extra polish
Also,
because
another game that blew my mind visually that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is Last of Us Part One. Like that game also,
well
you know,
yeah,
blew my
that game
mind
was
visually.
that game was that's pretty breathtaking. That to be honest,
Mhm.
it's like just seeing some of the scenes. I'm like whoa, holy crap! Like it looked great. Like especially the facial animation stuff on the
Yeah.
characters. Like this, no
Mm-hmm.
wonder why they want to remake this game to make it like, they want to make people transition from part one to part two without a significant drop.
Hmm.
That's what they did because Face Last of Us Part Two, if
And
you
I
get them,
think Last of Us Part One looks significantly better than Last of Us Part Two,
well, yeah,
in
I
my
I
opinion.
think Last of Us Part Two is a PS4 game. That's why.
Hmm.
But doesn't
Yeah.
mean the game looks bad. It looks fantastic. I can pop it
Yes.
in my PS5 and have the 60 FPS running. I'm like, this
Hmm.
game looks like an early PS5 game.
Yeah.
Like this game is phenomenal. Like the animations, the combat, the gameplay is so smooth. It's like you can't get like yeah, you can get better than this, but it's like it wows you. Like people, if
Mhm.
you want to play
It does.
part two, get the PS5, get part two for PS4, but just update it for the 60 FPS. You will not look back. Trust me.
Just, oh my god, man.
Seeing
It
Abby
plays
was
so good
seeing Abby
PS3.
and Ellie in 60 FPS. Trust me.
60 FPS Converse smacking on the floor.
Oh no. But yeah, it's we got some exciting games. Like I said in the other podcast, we got a lot of exciting games. But you know, we want to see some exclusive PS5 games, and we're gonna get them. Final Fantasy 16 is gonna be one of them. Then Spider-Man 2, and I can't wait for the second phase of PS5 because we're in store for a lot. We got a lot of stuff
Yeah.
coming up, and I feel
Yeah.
like I said, the showcase is gonna be massive. It's gonna be huge. Um, and I think the Sony's just like they're teasing a little bit, and a lot of people like the symbols. I wish I can pop up on the screen, but I'm not tech savvy enough to do that. Um, Maybe I'll find the image and I'll put it up as a thumbnail. Because it's incredible.
And
You
I
could.
wanted to talk about that recent leak that came out about the temperature changing DualSense.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's what I heard about that is like interesting.
I'm gonna pull up the article right now.
Okay, he'll pull up the article. Yeah, what I know of it so far, I'll talk about what I know, and then he'll get the official source. Um, it's a DualSense controller, but instead of like you just feeling the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers, you're also gonna feel like if it's hot in the desert, your controller will like change temperatures to make it feel warmer. Not gonna be like, oh no, it feels like 110s and burn your hands, but it's gonna have a little warmth to
Not
it.
gonna know.
And then
Yeah,
when you're
it's
in the
gonna.
blizzard cold like with Ragnarok, you feel the controller get like a little chill. It's like whoa.
Yeah, it's like whoa.
Or maybe
It's like
maybe you
I
go
feel
from
like
like hot desert, you land on the water, it just feels like hot. Like the haptic feedback feels like water, and it gets cool.
I feel like
That's what it means to me
Sony
until
and
we get the
PlayStation, their main goal is to immerse their players as much as possible. They want
yeah
to make their players feel like they're in the game. They're in there, you know? That's
yeah
why I love it because like when I pick up a DualSense that I'm playing, I can feel it like it's almost like I'm inside, like I'm in the world, you know?
yeah me too.
You know,
That's why
I was joking about this with my friend the other day. What if we get like chest vibrators? You, you hook it into control, then you hook it onto your chest, and then whenever a scene happens, like it vibrates on your chest. Like, oh my god.
I
And
don't
then,
know if I want that kind of thing, but like I like to feel
yeah,
like I tell people it's like DualSense controller features is not a gimmick. Like yeah, a lot of people turn it off, but I tell you what, you're missing like the immersion, especially single player games. I can see like multiplayer games, you don't want your gun to jam, like you're trying to play a competitive co-op, like competitive first person shooter. That's fine. You can turn it off for that, but like single player
So
experiences,
here's
you
what
want to
they
have it.
say on this is coming from PlayStation Lifestyle.
Okay.
We're firmly in the camp of never say never, but patents hardly ever come to fruition. Nevertheless, it's interesting to see that Sony's still fiddling with an idea that first cropped up back in 2012. Back then, Sony filed a patent that would make the PS3 Move motion controller become hot and cold depending on what's happening in the game. Now, a newly published patent spotted by Exputer suggests that Sony's modified its original idea.
Wow.
The new patent discusses a controller that contains a sensor with deformable elastic that detects users' contact with or deforming action of the elastic member and outputs an electrical signal based on the detected contact or deforming action in question. The controller would use gel-like flexible materials to enrich haptic experiences. So imagine picking up a block of ice in a game for whatever reason, and the controller, uh, and the controller, and the controller triggering a response that makes it feel a bit cold to the touch. So yeah, I think that's really that like that blew my mind. Like, oh, is this actually like when I first read this, I thought it was fake. And I think I told you this when we were in the
Yeah.
PlayStation chat. And I'm like, wait, hold on, this is coming from PlayStation Lifestyle. Like, whoa. um, and if you
Yeah.
guys don't know, you, you know, uh, PlayStation Lifestyle, they're pretty reliable. Uh, PlayStation sources.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
cover stuff that seems more legit than like a rumor. I mean,
So yeah,
they do cover rumors, but like they know
what are
they
your
do their
thoughts on that? Like,
my thoughts on it, like I said,
base,
I think it'd be it's not a gimmick. Like the DualSense controller feature is not a
so
gimmick in
we
my
do have to
opinion.
understand that the PlayStation 6 is eventually going to happen soon. So it was plan
Yeah,
is
so this thing is
Sony
not a gimmick, people.
instead of having like an overhauled controller, what if it becomes like the DualSense 2, right? So not only are you going to have the haptic feedback and
Yeah.
adaptive triggers, but you are also going to get the temperature changes, right?
I mean, I can see that
Really
happening
cool.
because Sony will want to improve upon this. And yeah, there's
Hmm.
like some people call it a gimmick, but a lot of people do like to have the feedbacks and stuff like I do. When I play
I'm one
like
of them too.
when I play like God of War, if I play like any game, like even like the Forspoken demo, or you want to play Forspoken on my PC and I have the haptic feedback, and that's like every step she takes when she's whipping through the world and stuff and doing the magical
It's
abilities. Like,
incredible, man.
this is I'm gonna say this: Forspoken is probably one of the best DualSense controller featured game that we have. Even though a lot of people didn't like Forspoken, but it is one of the only ones that I know that takes a lot more advantage of this thing. Not because it's got a war controller, because the DualSense capabilities. And that's not a gimmick.
Absolutely.
Like I'm
Hmm.
immersed. I'm like, whoa. Like this feels good. Like feels like I have power in my hands. Like I'm immersed. And I
Hmm.
have like the having my 3D Pulse headset on and just
Oh
hearing
wow,
things
dude.
all around. Like sign me up. Like this is what I
Oh
want. Like I'm
man,
immersed
dude,
in the
it's
world. I'm having fun. It's like
and like like on top of that, you know, you're also getting beautiful, outstanding visuals, you know, which even adds more to the experience.
oh yeah.
It's just oh my god,
It's like
oh
I
man.
even read a little bit about Final Fantasy 16 about their haptic feedback, like and adaptive triggers. Like you're gonna feel like when characters have to lift heavy gates, you're actually gonna feel how the gate feels lifting up with a controller.
Well,
And like when you're riding a chocobo, that those birds, it's actually based on real life like dinosaur birds that look like a chocobo. Um, they like when you're riding through like apparently what they're saying is like you're gonna feel the wind of your controller on the
mhm.
chocobo. You're gonna feel things with
Well,
it. I'm like, that's pretty sick.
well,
Like you can
yeah.
feel the wind and stuff with that. It's like sign me up. Like this is what I want to feel. I want to feel stuff. Like
Hmm.
I want to have companies don't treat it as a gimmick. It's like don't be afraid to use this thing, devs.
Hmm.
Don't be afraid to use the DualSense controller. Just because a lot of people don't like it in their first-person shooters, a lot of people like the DualSense controller features. Now,
Especially if you're into like especially if you're into like uh, story games and adventure games. I
Yeah,
think that's great.
and I hope for like Horizon Forbidden West DLC, Burning Shores. I hope that when we're flying through the clouds and stuff, that we feel it.
Oh,
We feel the flaps of the bird. We
oh,
feel the when the bird. This is a new machine that she's gonna ride. It's not just a sunbird thing. She's gonna ride a new flying machine. It can go in the water. So
oh man!
just
You can
imagine you
feel the
feeling that
water on
dip,
the
the
controller.
dip in the controller, and just feeling
Oh
like the
man!
waves hitting, like the pressure of the water hitting the controller.
Just
Just like
Tony, just it's just.
it just
I have no more words, man. Like, do you
like
see?
a lot of people say, oh, they're just doing that because they don't
It's
want
just
us
a
PS4.
gimmick.
It's like,
If
guys,
whoever is saying it's a gimmick, just shut the fuck up. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking
shut
about.
the beep 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 beep. But, but it's like this is what I
Just shut the
signed up
fuck
for.
up.
This is
Shut the fuck
yes,
up.
I know a lot of people
Honestly.
complain about the DLC being PS5 only, but Guerrilla Games said this. It's the same thing that
The only people who are complaining about that are PS4 players. I'm sorry. Those are the only
yeah.
people that are complaining
Why do you
about it.
think Final Fantasy's doing it? Why do you think Sony's doing it? Why do you think some other companies are doing this? Where they're having like a cross, like a bridge from PS4 to PS5 when they have like here's the base game, but the PS5 version is gonna have the DLC. The DLC is only PS5 only because guys, companies want to move on. Companies don't want to develop for PS4 forever, especially the big ones. They want
Mhm.
to push their games further, and the PS4 can
That's
only
why
do
I
so
feel
much.
like, yeah, that's why like I'm not trying to hate on Nintendo or anything, but they're a successful company, but they're like, this,
Well, I'm gonna
they're
say this
using
too.
such old hardware. Oh my
The
god.
Switch is 6 years old. You're gonna have to eventually move on to better hardware because people's gonna say, dude, there's people's already murmuring and talking about this. Like Nintendo, this thing's 6 years old. Where's the next console at? When we gonna see the new generation of Nintendo? Where like a lot of people are harping for it. A lot of people are kind of saying, hey Nintendo, when's the Switch 2? When's the Switch Pro coming out? Like not the OLED. OLED already came out already. I got one. It's pretty. I play on it once in a while. It's the games look good, but I can tell it's like the Switch is 6 years old. Like it is time for them to move on. Like every 6 7 years, you gotta have a next generation of console or device or whatever. It's like Nintendo's feeling the heat. That's why a lot of people are talking about the next generation Nintendo system. Like they want to see. Like a lot of people figure that the Tears of the Kingdom is like gonna be one of Nintendo's last triple A mainline title that's gonna
Well,
come
we
out for the
don't know.
Switch. But who knows?
If Nintendo is refusing to make a new console, then I feel like, they're doing real well now. But if they're like saying no, I think we're good. They're gonna see Nintendo. They're doing really good right now, but they're gonna see Nintendo slowly
Well, yeah,
take it.
because Nintendo's falling behind in hardware. They are.
They are.
Um, I right now the Switch is fine, but eventually you're gonna have to come out with a new generational console. Um, it's just like the place. That's why I think I know why the PlayStation 5 is starting to come on sale, like especially on GameStop. This is a theory of mine. I think it works perfectly at what's going on. You know how we're gonna get a brand new model at the end of this year, right? Late this year,
Yeah.
sometime. The
Hmm.
PS5 model with detachable disk drive is sold separately. I think what Sony's gonna tell retail stores, like, all right, here's all the PS5s. Here's our whole stock. Okay, we're gonna give it all to all the retails around the world. Sell it. You can sell it at a low discount price. Maybe take $25 $50 off it. Maybe bundle it or something. But here's the thing: we want to clear our inventory because we're going to transition over from making two PS5 consoles with a shipping cost and development cost. Now we got this newer model. It's just going to be one console. One
And it's not
console?
gonna be a slim, and it's not gonna be a pro.
No,
That's what we know.
for this year. Now the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to be late 2024, according to Tom Henderson. He's never been wrong, hardly. When he covers stuff, it's completely true. Um, for the most part, I haven't seen him wrong. I don't think he might have said something once, and he said, "Well, hang on, my sources are now telling me something different. I got to backtrack." I think he's done that once or twice.
Yeah, because the PlayStation 5. Don't get me wrong, it's great, but it's a bulky system. Like,
Oh yeah, that baby's
you know,
huge,
and I do feel like I
huge.
do feel
Oh,
like it could be smaller. Like.
yeah. You know what? It can be smaller. It's bulky. Like it's how big it is. It's a little bit bigger than the base PS4, PS3 console. That thing was massive. And the original Xbox, like the original big Xbox box, is like this big. Like the PlayStation 5 just towers that a little bit. Like PS5 is big, it's massive. Like it's so awkwardly to hold onto. Like you don't want to drop it. Like I had a hard time lifting over my monitor to put back over my TV. Like it's
Yeah.
awkward to hold onto. And then when you're trying to put the stand on and stuff, it's like yeah, this thing's it's cool, but it's also awkward. I can see why people wanted like a little smaller model. Wish they could. You don't have to have it that big. I
Right.
mean, they have to have the components in it and stuff, but you can
Mm.
make it a little smaller. I want to see you want. I know a lot of people don't want to see like a Pro or even detachable disk drive, but I want to see what it looks like. I'm always curious about what the next design is going to look like. But guess what? If PlayStation's doing it, Microsoft's going to follow suit. They always do.
Right.
So expect a Xbox Series something coming out soon, either this week or next year. It's gonna be if PlayStation 5 Pro is real, we gotta make an Xbox Series X Elite or Elite X or something. I don't know what they're gonna call it. Who knows? But they're gonna make
No.
it. They're gonna make a more powerful Xbox. They don't want PlayStation to have a PS5 Pro out that towers over the Xbox Series X.
Right.
It's competition. So and there's already a stir in the Xbox side of things that yeah they got a new console or a new device in the works, uh already developing. So
Right.
and a lot of people think they're probably gonna scrap the Xbox Series S and make an Xbox Series X digital. That's probably what it is. I don't know if that's it. I think because they're
I
hearing
don't know if
murmurs
that's
they're
true.
hearing murmurs of like the PlayStation 5 Pro and that and a newer model. Maybe Xbox like Microsoft's like, yeah, maybe we better follow suit because maybe we'll save a little bit of money on our end instead of having two consoles at once that we got to develop for and shipping costs. Even though they got lots more money to spend, but they kind of it's competition, right? They want to follow suit of the competition somewhat, um, to the most part. So it's
Yeah.
like I definitely want to see what. It's not like oh man, I want to trade this in and get me a detachable disk drive. I'm keeping this.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
keeping my
not.
PS5. I'm not going to trade it. Now, let's say the PS5 Pro is real, and the PS5 Pro is reasonably priced. Okay.
If it's more than $599, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not spending $700 on it. No.
Yeah.
No.
I think that for one thing, it's gotta make me decide. Go okay. I see why a PS5 Pro is
Minimum
available.
requirements. If you can't run games at native 4K 120 FPS with ray tracing, I ain't buying it.
Yeah, it's gonna have
I
to
ain't
be.
buying
It's gotta be way more stronger than PS5. Like it's gotta be for because I talked to a friend of mine, and he says, dude, if you look back and do some digging, like 8K is not in demand.
it. No.
8K's been available for the last 5 to 8 years
Mm.
originally, and like
But they're very expensive
the
now. Yeah.
prices haven't dropped yet. They haven't dropped a ton.
Mm.
Like I see some 8K TVs and that they're like he goes low end, dude, is like $4,000 to $8,000.
Jeez. Yeah.
Like that's a lot of money. Like you're not gonna see 8K gaming, even though the PS5 says 8K on it. But it's for games like Taurus. It looks like a Minecraft game. 8K is not in demand, guys. Like 4K is gonna be it for a while. Like
Mhm.
you're not seeing PC gamers gaming at 8K. Like there's no need for it. I'm happy with 1440p or 4K. I don't need to run. There's no games run at 8K.
Mm.
I mean, you can I can overclock mine and push some games at 8K 60. But there's no sense to it. I don't have a 8K monitor.
Yeah. It's just like your main priority, Sony, should be native 4K at 120 FPS.
Yeah,
That's your priority. for PS5
with
Pro.
VRR. Gotta have VRR and ray
VR.
tracing. That's your standard.
That's yes, exactly.
That's gotta be the middle ground. Like like your low end is maybe 4K 60, but even then that's still pushing it. 4K
No, yeah.
120, I think.
Native 4K, okay. I don't want no dynamic 4K
Yeah, it's gotta have it's gotta
checkerboard
be 4K
crap.
4K, not upscale
Not
whatever.
upscale dynamically checkerboard. I don't know. It's basically called, that's basically called fake 4K. Basically, it's not true 4K. It's like upscaled or
Yeah,
dynamically scaled.
it's like 1800p, pretty much.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's like in the middle between 1400 and well, not 1400, like 2K and 4K.
1440p. Yeah.
It's like 3K.
Mhm.
It's like 3K. It's native 3K.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
3K doesn't exist. I just made it up, but you guys know what I mean. Um. Anyways, in other news, I've covered this earlier in my video earlier today, but yeah, one of my dearest special games that holds dear in my heart has turned 3 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's turned 3 years old today. I mentioned that. I think I was talking to over here earlier before we started the podcast, but yeah, it turned 3 years old today, and man, it's just like time flew. I remember back watching that 2015 review trailer and having goosebumps, and
Really?
and then it's like shows Cloud and Barrett walking. Everybody's like, "Wait a minute, is this a movie? Is this a movie or what are they doing?" And it says remake. I was like, and the
Um.
guy comes out and goes, "Yes, Final Fantasy VII remake's coming to PlayStation 4. Play it first on PlayStation 4." And everybody just blew up. Like everybody blew up. And go,
Yeah.
what the heck? Like this is real? No way. It's like, and then it went silent for
Yeah.
like at the end of 2015. We did not see anything until 2017 with a concept art was teased quite a bit. And then we never heard anything until Sony goes, "We got a state of play on May 10th of 2019." And in the very beginning, before Monster Hunter World Iceborne got shown off at the very beginning, they had a little cursor sound. They always tease games are going to be teased. And they had a Final Fantasy VII cursor sound. And people's like, wait a minute, what? What? Oh, okay. It's just Monster Hunter World Iceborne. It's like I had to be. That was Final Fantasy VII. What are you doing, Sony? And like right at the end, it said, it's like the return is near, and it showed
Yeah.
Aerith like near the
Wow.
Mako pipe, and everybody just lost their mind. It said
I wish I could have
more to
played.
come in June, and people's like, and here it is, like, I remember the build up leading up to launch, and we had COVID-19, and everybody got the game. People got the game early because they want to make sure it shipped out early. Some countries got it early. They was playing it, streaming it. They're not supposed to. It was a headache. It was a whole bunch of leaks leading up to it. I avoided most of that, but I remember the lead up to launch, and it's just like saying, "Is this game even real? I'm playing this game." And here we are, 3 years later. This game has been out already. It's on Epic
We're
Games, on
getting
Steam,
Rebirth this year.
and like Rebirth is so like I did a little rant because I was hoping because Katase promised this is a year of 7. The keyword was 7, VII, and he said we have 7 campaigns of FF7 scheduled for this year. They didn't do anything for the 26th anniversary, which is in January for Japan.
Mm.
They didn't do anything for today. I was kind of bummed out. I was like, man, you got 7 campaigns. And a lot of people's like, well, that's because 16's. I go, dude, if that's the case, why did Kingdom Hearts 4, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, got shown off last year at the same time that 16 did?
Mm. Yeah, I'm in the camp that the hype train for FF16 is building up, and no one is focused on Rebirth. Everyone is focused on 16. They're excited for it. They're pumped. They can't wait. And I think after people play 16, enjoy it, the hype dies down a little bit. Then that's when they'll start
Well,
marketing.
I think that too. I
And
think
I don't
Square.
know. I hear a lot of people say, "What if we get 2 showcases this year?" Since we didn't have any last year, right? Because that could be a because Sony, they had showcases in 2020, and they didn't have one in 2019.
I mean, that's
That
possible,
could
but
happen,
if
right?
you're gonna do that, but they said a lot. It's not rumor at this point. It's been leaked. Like that symbol's been leaked. It's been talked about. I talked to my guy who's like an insider. He says it's real. Like the showcase is happening. Like it's not a rumor that it's being spread on Twitter. Is this actually a real thing?
Hmm.
And the main theme for this PlayStation Showcase is the second phase of PS5. It's not the
Hmm.
first phase. The first phase is like Final Fantasy 16 is still part of the first phase, like towards the tail end of first phase. Phase two is like late 2023 and beyond. Like it's beyond.
Right.
What we're gonna see
Hmm.
in 2024, right?
Hmm.
Because Rebirth, yes, is out this winter. Like December is the earliest I can see,
This
but
holiday, right? Yeah.
yeah, like December is like the start of winter season in Japan and us. But to be honest with you, if even if it gets pushed into okay, it's coming out this winter, but it's like a March game, it's still a 2024 PS5 exclusive title, right?
Mhm.
It's the second phase of the PlayStation 5. So
Yes.
I talked to some people that say, yeah, you're most likely going to see Rebirth. Sony knows how popular Final Fantasy 7 is as as an iconic IP franchise of its own right. It was on PlayStation 1, even though yeah, it's on PlayStation 1, it's even on PS4. Like it sold well. It sold like over
Yeah.
5 million copies within the first like 6 months of release, which it's not bad for a third-party game, especially a JRPG game. Um but it makes sense that Sony would want to save that for like a grand showcase. It's like we
They
want to
will.
show off like that game because we know how popular it is. What if we save that for the showcase? They can still have a Final Fantasy 16 launch title, a launch
Hmm.
trailer at the showcase, or Square's like, hey, since this game's almost
I,
out, you got the demo.
dude, we got over like what 4 hours of games. Five. I don't think we need to see any
Well,
more.
we
They
only
showed us
saw
way
about
too
two
much.
hours total.
They're showing us way too much, man. I'm telling
Yeah, I know.
you. You're like, I could always see more, you know.
Yeah, I got content to cover. I got juicy videos. But anyways, that's just.
Yeah.
But I can see that happening. But if Square wants to too, they can wait until I guess is by the time you reach June, you don't have to hype up 16. Is everybody's either gonna play the demo and decide for themselves, or they already decided whether or not they're gonna buy the game at that point. 'Cause-
I'm gonna play it 1,000%.
yeah, me too. I already got it ordered.
Yeah.
I get to preload it, get to play. I don't know if I'm gonna play at midnight. So I'm usually sleeping, but it's
Yeah.
like I'll probably play it the next day. I'll probably
Probably, yeah. I'm gonna stay up until midnight and play it, like 1,000%.
now if I take an early nap and I get up like about midnight, 1 o'clock, I'll play it. I'll play it.
Yeah.
I might even my capture card's having issues. I won't be able to stream the game, but I can probably show off some gameplay footage of it, record on my
Indeed.
PS5 and send it on YouTube.
Mm.
Do it that
Why
way.
not? Man?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it, and that's why I got to order it on my PS5. No more delays of physical copies. I just preload it and play it
Yeah.
whenever. Just like Dead Island 2. Just like I'm excited for games,
Yeah, I
man.
mean, that's what I do with part one. It's like, oh my, I've waited long enough. I'm just gonna buy this game, you know.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting for the Firefly Edition 3 stock. They didn't. So I
Yeah.
just,
Yeah. Firefly. Yeah. I get it, man.
yeah.
You wanted it, and I was hoping you was gonna get it, but you didn't. And it
So
happens.
that's,
Just like
yeah,
a
it
popular
does.
item like that, just sells up quick. It's like it's nuts. Like even like the
Mhm.
God of War Ragnarok controller, like this thing sold out. It didn't sell out like day one, but a lot of countries it did. Like in Australia, they said it sold out in a hurry. The Harry Potter, not Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy. Oops. The Hogwarts Legacy controller that sold out within minutes.
Jeez, man.
Like
I'm,
Sony knew what it
I'm
was doing.
wondering if they're gonna have a Spider-Man 2 themed controller, a DualSense controller.
You know what I was hoping? You know what I was
But,
hoping?
uh-huh.
That since Hogwarts Legacy and God of War Ragnarok was like PS5 type of thing,
Mhm.
they had their own
Mhm.
the controller. I told people it's like if Sony and Square teamed up and say, "Here's a Final Fantasy 16 DualSense controller," I was like, "I'd be going,
Um,
oh, oh." Why Square? Why Sony? Why torture me? But yeah,
I
Spider-Man,
can't buy
a
another
Spider-Man
DualSense.
2 DualSense controller. Oh, you better believe it. They're making
Oh,
one 1,000%.
you think so?
I
Wow.
think so.
I'm buying it, dude. I
They,
have to.
dude, for the PlayStation 4 Pro, they made a Spider-Man 2018 edition, limited edition console and controller. Good luck trying to find one of those. Like, good luck. Good luck,
Yeah.
guys. Like, they even made a Final Fantasy 15 limited edition on
Are you
PS4.
kidding?
Yeah, a PS4 Slim Final Fantasy 15
Wow.
limited edition console.
Jeez.
Like, bro. Like, it's like so sick. Like, even God of War 2018 got a limited edition console. Destiny 2
Last of Us
did.
Part 2,
Last of Us Part 2, like
Uncharted 4,
Star Wars Battlefront 2 did. But
Uncharted
Battlefront
4
was
got
like
one. Yeah.
Vader on it. Monster Hunter World got one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was Rathalos too. I wanted that dang thing.
Jesus.
Rathalos is my favorite monster in that game. It's like, oh, like I'm excited, dude. Like, just
Yeah.
imagine like Spider-Man 2, like West Sony and Square, like, you know, Final Fantasy 7's gonna sell, right? What
Yeah.
about DualSense? What about custom plates? Oh, trust me, Sony and Square, they love to team up, make money.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
man,
know, I know.
it's like, oh, come on,
Oh god.
don't tease me, don't tease me.
Oh, I gotta breathe. Okay, you're getting me too excited here. Ooh.
Yeah, it's exciting to be a gamer, guys. Sorry we're geeking out over this stuff, but you can't help but get excited about games. Like Jedi Survivor looks great. I still want to watch the gameplay. I'm hyped for Dead Island 2. I'm hyped for the DLC Burning Shores for Horizon Forbidden West, Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 7
Oof.
Rebirth, Wolverine. It goes on and on and on.
Oh man.
So excited. But like,
Oh man.
any closing
Crazy, man.
thoughts? Any closing arguments, topics you want to discuss real quick?
Um. Yeah. So I want to talk about.
Hmm.
I've been on this Discord server, and are we gonna get any word on KG4? Now I know it's an early game and it might not come out, so I don't know when this game is planning on releasing. To be honest with you,
Oh, what game now?
a KG4.
KG4.
Mm.
Hmm. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it'll be interesting.
Just like there's so many games like somehow today something else got leaked and it's got fans freaked out about. It's
What game?
Persona 3 remake.
Ooh.
Like there's a lot of Persona fans out there. That JRPG title from Atlas is like Persona has lots of fans. Like people go
Mhm.
nuts over that. Like Persona 5 Royal is like one of the best like JRPGs in a lot of people's minds. I try to get into it. I like turn based and stuff. It's just like the area I'm in. I'm kind of like, yeah, I'll get through it one of these days.
Right.
But like Persona 3 remake got leaked. This legit leaks, and somebody's like, people are recording it on their videos and like covering it. It's like you got balls to cover this on your YouTube channel. You can get strikes for it. Like careful. Just like GTA 6 leaked. What do you call it? The dev demo, or whatever. Like got leaked and
Yeah.
people covering on the YouTube channel. It's like, don't do that. You're gonna get copyright strikes. Dingwits. It's like don't stream games too early, like a day before release. Like you still, even though you're not a media coverage guy, you're still under the NDA, the embargo. Like you can't stream games before launch.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because I saw a person who when God War Ragnarok was about to release, they posted a bunch of screenshots and they were huge spoilers.
Oh,
And you know what Sony did?
what?
They banned his account.
Hey, you know what? It's like people never learn. It's like you're gonna do something stupid like that, you're gonna get banned. Like look at like I hate to bring this up, but Final Fantasy 7 remake. You know all the copies got out like a week
Mhm.
early because of COVID
Now,
19 stuff.
I want to
Square
say,
came out and said,
if
"Hey,
someone gets
don't
banned,
spoil the game for others." And he's out there streaming on Twitch. And you know what Square did? And Twitch, they banned their accounts. They shut them down.
Yeah, when Sony bans an account, they don't like they can still play games. It's just
Yeah.
they ban them from communicating with others because they can't ban someone who's purchased like their game. They can't. No matter what they do, they can't do
No,
that.
no.
Right?
I'll rephrase this. If you bought the game from the store and they sell it pre-date, right, pre-release date. If you go to a store like my friend who lives in the same state I did, he went to the store, bought Resident Evil 4 remake before launch, and he played it. That's fine. You
Really?
cannot share content on social media, or you can't stream it. You can't record content and put it on your YouTube videos. But if you play it in private, in your own home, on the console, Sony won't say anything. The company won't say nothing because nothing's getting leaked. Now, if you
How do
got the
people get a hold of early copies of games? Do they just ask the
because it's
store?
just retail stores, they put them on the shelves early. Put them on the shelves early. I seen it before. They even had the labeling. It's like, what? This game's not out yet. It's on the store shelf. It's like, but it's just some retail stores they sell it like predate. They just like somebody's not realizing. So I would just put it on the shelf. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Make a quick buck before
Yeah.
release date. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean that's actually they can make a lot of money off,
yeah.
putting games out early, these stores.
But yeah. Anyways, I think that's a good podcast. I thank you guys for stopping by and appreciate the content that I covered. I've been gaining a few subs. I appreciate all the love and support as always, guys. I thank you a ton. I cannot thank you enough because it helps my channel grow. It helps me know that you guys are interested in the topics that I cover. And I was gonna stream Final Fantasy VII Remake to celebrate the 3-year anniversary, but we decided to do this podcast, and I hope you guys appreciate it because it's been fun. It's been fun talking about games and talking about what's going on. I hope Sony's nipping in the butt a little bit. Don't be prideful. Be humble. Be hungry. Be humble. Be hungry. Be in competition, but don't starting cutting down other companies. Jim Ryan, you know better. You know better, buddy. You know better. If there's let me know in the comments what you guys think of that situation. What you guys think of the DualSense futures? You guys think of the gimmick? What you guys think of the temperature ordeal about the patent? Do you think Sony's going to do that? What do you guys think of the PS5 Pro? What do you guys think of everything we discussed over today? I love to hear what you guys have to say because I love to communicate with you guys. And thank you as always, Over, for stopping by. I appreciate
Yep,
it a
thank you for
ton.
having me again. It's
Yeah,
great to be back on the podcast. So
yeah, for
I
sure.
appreciate it.
We'll
Yeah.
have more stuff down the road. I'm sure.
Mm.
I'll next podcast I'll do. I don't know. It might be. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what kind of gaming news and stuff we get. But if not, I'm definitely gonna have more on like podcasts about Dead Island 2, maybe first impressions, maybe the DLC to Burning Shores. We'll definitely do one of those. Just give our honest opinion, maybe in first impressions. I don't know if I'm gonna rush through it. I want to enjoy my time with it, but we'll do a first impression podcast of those two games. Definitely want to cover those. So with that said, that's what I got in the store for down the road. So I appreciate you guys a ton. Thank you again, Over, as always. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful night. Keep on keeping on. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. And share with a friend if you guys want more. J19's Gaming Podcast. I'm J19, your host. Thank you guys. Be safe out there. Be nice to each other. I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Take care.